I wonder how much these sessions are of any help to you now. Just won't listen to me and things seems pretty fucked up. So I'm gonna leave you now, Josh. It's time you learn. There's more to be afraid of that can be dreamt up by the unhinged imagination of a self-indulgent, spoiled little brat. You had so many people who cared about you, who were willing to help. But at every turn you choose to push them away, and now you're all alone. Though by the sounds of things, you won't be alone for long. No, you won't be alone for long. Deep breaths, Josh. Deep breath.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird. They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness. Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent. Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks. There were chemical diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in, sticky at the handle where his hands shook. He worked for a pharmaceutical company with an office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity. From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink. I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So, found the mystery decorations?
No decorations.
Is everything okay?
I found something.
What?
It's like someone built some kind of bedroom. Irving, you there?
Of course, yeah. What bedroom? Tell me what you see.
Okay. There's some windows drawn on the walls. Books. Sheet music. A pink bed. It's like a kid's room.
No way.
This place doesn't make sense. No one would live down here.
Nikki, I think you should get out of there now.
Wait. There's gotta be an explanation.
Okay, that's it. Now I'm calling the head office in Billings. I'm telling them it's a code red emergency, so they'll have to...
Jesus Christ, Irving.
What?
This is all Rachel's stuff. Understand? It's her room, a replica.
You don't know that. You can't know what her room looked like.
Everything here reminds me of her. Let me look around. I'm sure I'll find an explanation.
But my other hand's on the red phone.
Keep it there, but don't make the call. I need to figure out what's going on here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
We have to call someone. You have to get out of there right now.
No. I found a key. It's from my old music box, the one in Leonard's room.
I'm having a hard time following.
If everything in here is Rachel's, then why is my music box's key here?
I don't know, and I don't want to know. Tell you what I think? Someone could have been in your room.
It doesn't matter.
How can you be so calm?
If someone was in there, he's not here now. I need to grab the chance to figure out what the hell is going on, or went on, here. Yes.
Nicole, listen. I already know what you're gonna say, but please trust me. Get out of there.
Please, you're not helping.
You do realize you found the replica of a dead girl's bedroom. This is sick. This is
The more things get freaky, bizarre, and painful, the more I need to figure out why all of this...
We'll figure it out. With the sheriff. Once you're out of there, into a safe hotel room in town. Please, just...
Listen, a bunch of strange things happened since I got here. Think about it. Phone calls on a dead line, old lipsticks that don't go bad. Leonard's notes where he says he saw a girl that's supposedly been dead for 10 years, and now this!
All good reasons to get out of there. We both agree that saving your skin is top priority, right?
I've looked over every inch of this place, and there's no one.
If it's true, you realize what that means.
What? What are you trying to tell me?
Your father... He spent years in there, in total solitude. With the weight of his family and Rachel on his conscience. He wasn't the kind of guy to just let the past slide with a shrug. You know that too.
You're joking, right? You think he did this?
Think about it. That room could be an act of love. Distorted, even morbid, but in his eyes...
How dare you? My father might have had a lot of weaknesses, but surely what you're saying... Leave out that he cheated on my mom. Leave out that he fell in love with a 16-year-old, but fucking hell, don't you dare even think that! He would never have built a fucking underground shrine for a dead person.
Your father had changed in the end. You didn't spend time with him, but I met him, and I'm telling you.
No! I don't give a shit about what you have to say.
I just want you to know that...
If you don't want to help discover the truth, don't call me.
Irving? Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm on the mezzanine, and it's a nightmare.
There are mannequins everywhere. They're set up like in a scene. There's one with a hockey stick. Wait, what the fuck? That's my stick! If you're listening to me, whoever set up this representation, I think they want to tell me that Rachel was killed? But why my hockey stick? Hello? Hello? Oh God, why isn't he answering? Irving, I swear I'm not kidding. This is a huge deal. If you can hear me, it's time to make that phone call.
Where are you, Nicole?
It's about time. Did you hear my messages?
How many doors have you opened, Nicole? How many are still missing?
What? Are you drunk?
Keep going.
Hello? Hello, Irving. Hello?
I imagine you found my room.
What? What does all this mean?
That's a question I've asked myself many times. What does all this mean, Irving? How far do you want to push yourself? How much can you take?
What?
Every memory, painstakingly gathered, every reconstructed piece, every little element retrieved from the dark. A photo, a hairband, a lipstick. It means remembering, Rachel. That's what all this means. I didn't choose this path. I had to do it.
What did you do, Irving?
These walls ooze with memories. The memories get into the walls. Under the floorboards, they creep into the crawl spaces.
You're not with FEMA. You... Jenkins... You never talked to him. Your boss, the phone call, all those weird events. You were behind all of them.
Someone had to bring the last piece of the memory puzzle here. The most important one. You.
Me?
Your father wanted to keep you out of it. I convinced him that only you could resolve the equation, as he called it.
I don't understand.
How could you? Over the last few days, you got a little taste of what it means to dig around in the past, hunting for memories that scratch away behind every wall in the night. We did it for years, day after day after day.
All lies.
I have nothing against lies. I grew up around lies. But now it's time for the truth to come out. Finally.
Who are you, really?
I want to tell you a story. There was an invisible boy. Like everyone, he just wanted to run on the grass, ride a bike, swim in the lake in summer. But his father had other plans for his soul. In his dark world made of silence and prayer, there shone only one star. His wonderful sister. A heavenly creature that spent hours telling him fairy tales in secret. She who told him what a free and strong man he would become one day.
Rachel?
She was like that. Free and strong. At the time, I didn't understand her dyslexia. Or what retard meant. That's what they called her at school. But I could hear her cry at night. I wanted to protect her. But I couldn't. One day, that beautiful, luminous creature met someone. A human being that saw her. For real.
My dad.
Yes. And I was the invisible witness of what happened. A love. Simply a love. Nothing more, nothing less. But that love was too much, and it would be punished. Who paid for this love, Nicole?
Rachel. Rachel was your sister. Now I remember you.
You were too caught up with your hatred for Rachel to notice the innocent little kid that sometimes tagged along.
I didn't hate your sister. I was just jealous.
Doesn't matter. Those days are over.
How could I have forgotten you?
I was raised to be forgotten.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.